creative continuity. We bring the convention to you.
And I'm here with Peter David. There is talk about you coming back to writing Spider-Man 2099. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the talk is true. It was actually kind of interesting. It started as a joke, I think, that Steve Wacker made in a Spider-Man letters column in which he said that Ellie Pyle, an editor at Marvel, was working on a Spidey 2099 comic. This caused an eruption in the fan community, as everyone seemed to say almost universally, well, it better be written by Peter David or I'm not going to read it. And this talk apparently penetrated to the upper echelon at Marvel, who said, well, if we're going to do this, why don't we have Peter write it? And as a result, one day in March, Ellie called me up and asked if I would be interested in writing it. And I said, sure, when's the first issue? And she said, July. You know, welcome aboard, you're late. And by the way, I also need a 5-page story for Amazing Spider-Man #1s. And I need that by like yesterday. So that got pretty exciting.
In the Marvel or DC universe, is there a character that you would love to work on that you haven't worked on yet?
It'd be fun to do something with Nightcrawler, but Chris Claremont's got him pretty much wrapped up. At this point, I've been incredibly lucky. I mean, in the Marvel and DC universe, I have worked at some point or another on practically every character, somewhere, somehow, that I would have any interest in writing. So I'm really pretty good right now.
I want to ask a question about Young Justice.
All right.
There was the series that was out for a little while that unfortunately got canceled a little too soon for its time. Do you have any opinions about that? Do you think the series should have been canceled that soon? Do you think that they should bring it back, since there are a lot of fans who love it and a lot of fans who would love to have your work involved in the new Young Justice?
Well, if DC brought back Young Justice, well, first off, they did bring back Young Justice based on the animated series, and it was written very well by Greg Weisman, who did a terrific job with it. I don't think they should have canceled it because Young Justice served a particular need, I think, for the fan base. Young Justice was a book that was designed specifically for younger readers to get their interest and grab them and pull them into the DC universe, and then eventually they would graduate to Teen Titans or something like that. And I think that was a tremendous use for the book. And indeed, I've had so many people tell me that Young Justice was their first comic book. So it was obviously doing what it was designed to do. And I think it's a shame that DC wound up canceling it and replacing it with pretty much no book to serve that same function. I think DC really does need, and Marvel for that matter, needs some sort of bridging title to guide readers over to their DC universe. Because if they don't have that kind of thing, people are not going to keep reading comics. And all we've been seeing lately is a downward spiral in sales. I don't think DC has any plans to do a Young Justice movie, but I know that the animated series was very well received, and a lot of people are very irritated that the show was canceled after only 2 seasons. And I agree with them. I think that it was a tremendous series, and it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people enjoyed it. And to my understanding, the main reason they canceled it is because the toys didn't sell. Because that's Cartoon Network's thinking. If the toys sell, a series stays around. If the toys don't sell, the series goes away.
Is there any particular stories you can share for the viewers about writing Incredible Hulk for 12 years?
Sure. Well, when I first came on the book, Bob Harris called me into his office and he said, we have this artist that I want to use. I think he's very talented. I think he's got potential. He's got, there's a lot of stuff he's doing wrong that he needs work on, but I think that he can go places. And Bob had wanted to put him onto G.I. Joe, but Larry Hama did not like his work at all. And Bob said, what do you think? And I looked it over, and I saw there was a lot of rough stuff in there, but I thought that he had real potential. And Bob said to me, if you don't like him, I'll get somebody else. And I looked at the art, and I said, no, I think we can work with him to really bring him along. So yeah, let's use him. And that's basically how Todd McFarlane wound up drawing the Hulk. I'm sure he would have come to success even if I said no, but I like to think I played some small contribution to his career. And I had a lot of fun writing the Hulk, for many years. I had a few bumps and bruises along the way. For example, I had a story in which Betty Banner got pregnant, and Marvel insisted she could not have any children because the Hulk could never be a father figure, which breaks me up because now he has, 3 kids running around the Marvel Universe? So, go figure that. But, I did it for 12 years, and I had a lot of fun with the character.
Wow. And do you ever miss writing Hulk?
From time to time, I think it would be fun to return to the character. But I'm perfectly happy to let my 12 years on it stand. That's pretty much longer than anyone else has ever written it, so I'm pretty content with that.
This has been Peter David on Creative Continuity.